I know obviously I said yesterday or 2 days ago, whenever it was, that I was done milking the day before for content and I'd not be making another video up until the game released into early access and we got to see what they'd been cooking up behind the scenes, you know, what they've been chefing up. But much like the developers of the day before, I lied. I just very simply lied. So there's two things the video is going to be talking about. The first being their response to why they're not doing a beta, or more accurately, that they lied about doing a beta and now it's only for volunteers, which is a whole sentence we need to unpack. But first, what we missed yesterday, they do have their Steam page up now, and their big, thing they wanted to announce to people was, we won our name back, and a good name it is, of course. You really needed to win back the day before, and not just, not legally fight this, waste a bunch of money, and just change it to something less shit. But then again, they did trademark Day World, so I guess keep the day before if that's your level of imagination and thinking. So this was confirmed by the decision of the Intellectual Property Tribunal. Yeah, covered that one. We dedicate this victory to all our future players, and it's all for them. Course. For 5 years, we've been doing our best to give people this dream game. We also want to thank our volunteers for their constant support and faith in us. So you might be thinking, if you're new to this whole saga, why are they thanking their volunteers? Well, that's because this company, for some reason, whether to obfuscate the fact that they use volunteers to do actual paid work that they shouldn't be doing, or for some random fucking dystopian reason, I don't know why, they just refer to all of their employees as volunteers, which is going to play a big factor in a minute in more coverage. So the Steam page has already been restored by Valve and will be open very soon. I think it is at this point. The game's release has been slightly delayed to December 7th at 10 a.m. PST. So when I said that they, announced a new release date without addressing the fact that they didn't announce a new release date and yet another delay, they did, just not in the big trailer that they dropped. They were too busy telling us, the trailer starts now, which is epic, real fucking epic. So it will be on early access on Steam since this is our first huge game and there may be unforeseen circumstances. Bear in mind, they're not saying it's our first game because they released multiple. Most of the ones that they released on early access, they abandoned and will never see the light of day ever again. Full version release will happen when we are certain this is the best version of the game possible. Good, and we believe that player feedback and involvement will greatly contribute to achieving this goal. Remember that statement. So the next gen console version will also come with the full release. Fair enough, I don't care, I don't play console. The confirmed price is $39 in early access, don't buy this, and $49 on full release. If by the time it gets to full release it's a good game, fair price for a video game in 2023. Those who bought the early access version will not need to repurchase the full version. Yeah, common sense. So this is when we get to, remember I was talking about how they said, oh, there's definitely going to be a beta. You're definitely going to get to play a beta. Don't worry, because all these delays and everything, it's fine, because before we charge you money for the game, there will be a beta, and we need to do this beta because it will help us. There's going to be fantastic feedback we're going to get from our audience that's going to help us to make meaningful changes to the game. They didn't say that like in those words because that would have been human interaction, and they usually write their stuff seemingly by AI. Not an accusation, just saying that they're not the most well-crafted PR responses generally. So the beta for the highly anticipated and controversial post-apocalyptic open-world MMO the day before will only be available to those who volunteer for developer Fantastic. Bear in mind, again, they call their full-time employees who they pay money volunteers, but they also call people who actually volunteer and get given fucking good boy points or whatever, title credit as a translator doing, dozens, hundreds of hours of work. And you get, a pat on the head, maybe a slap on the ass, who knows. They're also volunteers. So they don't distinguish between which volunteers are going to get access to the game. I assume it's the ones who don't actually get paid by the company, because it would be very difficult to, do the mental gymnastics to believe their actual paid employees didn't already have access to the game, which basically means their beta is going to be a handful, maybe dozens of unpaid volunteers. So congratulations for that, guys. You really fucking won out on this one. What a fantastic use of your time. So the day before, received a new trailer yesterday announcing it's going to be in early access and not on console on release. Blah, blah, blah. The developer failed to mention the beta it announced in April, however, and when asked by IGN, who posted their trailer, by the way, and has posted all their trailers so far, they confirmed that it's only fantastic volunteers that would be granted access. Volunteers are what Fantastic call it staff, broken into two categories: employee volunteers, who are actual, the real word everyone else on the planet uses for people who you pay money to do things is your employees, and then external volunteers, aka real volunteers, a practice that was criticized by onlookers, of course. And then they go on to say, bringing up what I brought up, Fantastic announced the beta in April, but didn't mention it would only be available to its volunteers and not general fans of the game. And this is the quote: "As we get closer to the release date, we will be conducting a beta test for the game," it said. "This will give players the opportunity to try out the game before it's released and provide valuable feedback that we can use to improve the final product." Now, you could argue that anyone who touches the game is therefore playing it, and therefore they didn't lie. If you are trying to lawyer this one, which of course everybody knows, why would you even say this publicly if it's not for the public? It just makes no sense, because it was a way to deflect criticism at the time. It was, don't worry that we've delayed the game again. Don't worry that we are so incompetent that somebody stole our fucking name, even though we were informed about our name being stolen, of course, in air quotes there. Don't worry that happened, because we are going to have a beta for players, and players are going to play. In actual fact, what they meant was, we might as well not be saying this publicly, because only people who volunteer for us can play the beta, which is fucking laughably stupid. Why would you even say this? Why would you even admit it? Why wouldn't you just say, no, we're not having a beta, we've decided against it, and early access is going to be the first time? This company is utterly fucking stupid, I'm convinced. And of course, the quote finishes out of what they originally said back in April: "We will provide more details on the beta test as we approach the release date." Got him. Didn't until IGN asked you, of course. So be sure to stay tuned for updates. We look forward to sharing game with you, spitting that game, and you will enjoy playing it as much as we have enjoyed creating it. Yeah, not according to your developers, according to Russian leaks. Fantastic haven't said anything about the beta officially since, outside of confirming to IGN that only volunteers would be able to access it, despite the game previously being intended to launch November 10th. It's now December 7th, after it promised to improve communication. Very improved. Didn't mention the delay in the video, didn't mention the beta until some journalist asked them about it, and then said, yeah, fucking weren't for you in the first place, was it? It wasn't for anybody apart from people who give us their time for free for jobs that we should be paying money for as a company that's funded by a multi-million-dollar game publisher. The day before has otherwise been wrought with controversy over its development period, with once fans calling the game a scam amid its multiple delays, copycat accusations, miscommunication and more. You can read about the entire saga the day before here. I definitely suggest you go look into this if you've not already. This game literally, I guess you could use the term, creatively, liberally uses other people's everything within their game. Obviously, this is a real place, right? It's a hotel in New York that they use within John Wick. So this is not the greatest example, the most smoking gun in the world. But it's just to show that even they've called the town in the game Woodbury, which is from The Walking Dead. It didn't click in my head immediately because I tried to delete the fact that Walking Dead exists from my brain. But you can see they literally stole the font and the logo from The Last of Us, a very popular game, of course. The trailer that they made, the original one was a shot-for-shot recreation of a Call of Duty trailer. Like, everything about this game, from the visuals, just looks like a generic combination of rip-offs of a bunch of different things. Originally, the big complaint was, which I thought was stupid at the time, was people were saying they stole the Division's artwork, which obviously they've not got access to files and then just ripped off all the files. They've just made the game look like the Division. But I think when I watched the trailer a couple of days ago when I made that video, I had a little bit more goodwill towards it, because I was like, whatever, I'm closing my chapter on the day before coverage. It's ridiculous, it's stupid, but it is what it is. And now today, when I woke up and somebody linked this to me on Twitter and I read it just now, I have no sympathy, I have no fucking goodwill remaining for this company, because they are just the worst, one of the worst companies I've seen in gaming in a real long time. Yes, they've not charged anyone any money yet. No, the game's not out yet, so judging the game is not something you can really do. But that's also like a confusing thing that people seem to not understand about covering situations in general. You need this information to make a good purchasing decision in the first place, because if the game comes out and it's a mess, which it almost certainly will be if, you know, anything that we've learned so far is to go by, you need this context to know that it's probably not likely to get fixed. So if you're one of those people who buy early access games and think, you know, I'll support the developer and then maybe they'll fix it. If you look at their whole track record of everything they've done up to this point, which needs to be chronicled and talked about so that you know, and you don't have to do dozens of hours of looking into things that you might not even know how to find in the first place, then you might, you know, wait around thinking that it's going to be that way and not get a refund and spend your money in a better way. So at this point, we're not judging the game. We're judging what we expect from the company. We're judging the company. That obviously needs to be outlined for people who are so fucking mind-numbingly stupid that they think, don't judge things until they're finished. Just consume. Stuff my fucking face with things I spend money on. I have no opinion. I am just the consumer. So, yeah, there we go. Obviously, I hope no more day before videos for at least another month or so. Let's, please, fantastic, get the fucking game out and stop just doing stupid shit, because I'm done with it at this point. You guys are so fucking incompetent, it's unreal. So, yeah, unless you're a volunteer, if you are, please do better things with your time. You won't be playing the game in the beta. The beta was never for you. They lied and then didn't tell you that they lied about it until IGN asked them, and then there we go. So yeah, thanks for watching. Yeah, buy Gamer Subs, link in video description. Get shaker cups. They sent me this new one the other day, as well as their new flavors, which actually are bangers, especially this so depressed despair, which is soda popping. If you know the popular WoW streamer, don't know if he streams WoW anymore, who fucking plays WoW apart from me on hardcore. So yeah, thanks for watching, link in video description, 10% discount, and see you next time. Peace.